Levy County Detective Narayan is about to interview Crook for violating the civil protection order in front of Town Hall with George for over an hour and a half. Why? Because Deputy Duncan intentionally, purposefully screwed this entire thing up. He had himself and Deputy Ricks turn the microphone off, which frankly, I think should be illegal, not appropriate. Why don't they want to be heard? Why doesn't he want them to be heard? And then he claims he does not recognize nor will he put any faith into a legal document that comes from a court, even though both federally and Florida state, they must enforce the civil protection orders. After this huge cluster that Deputy Duncan put the Levy County Sheriff in yet again, we went with formal complaints to the higher-ups, which they took it seriously. So Detective Narayan, he contacts Crook and says, hey, come on into the office. We got some splaining to do. I'm about to share the audio with you.
Hold on, for my own protection, she wants me to...
Sir?
For my own thing, she just wants me to know.
That's fine, sir. I just need to talk to you about yourself. You can film it if you want from your phone.
Okay.
You have your phone?
Yeah, I got my phone.
Okay.
I don't get all this phone stuff in there.
Yes, sir. And I'm recording too, so
Okay.
so you'll have this for your own protection also. All right. Like I said, my name is Mike Ryan. I'm a lieutenant here with the sheriff's office. I'm working a investigation with Lieutenant Anderson. Also, and it's revolving what happened at City Hall.
Okay.
Okay. I called you. You came up here of your own free will. At any point, if you want to terminate the interview, you walk back the sidewalk to your vehicle, and you can get in your vehicle and leave.
Okay.
Okay. This is not a custodial interview. Okay. But I want to be clear. We are conducting a criminal investigation. Okay. All right. The night at Town Hall. I've seen some of the videos. Okay. Who got to Town Hall first? You and
We
this-
got there 2.5 hours before them.
Okay.
In fact, my day started with Russell Meeks calling me in the morning, telling me I need to be at the meeting because he's putting me and Stuart onto the board.
Yes, sir.
So we went to the state's attorney's office that morning. We told him what we were doing. I filmed us going by City Hall. There was not a car around except for a couple workers.
Okay.
And then we called the sheriff's office to tell them exactly what we were doing.
Who did you talk to the state attorney's office? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't. She might have just talked to the state's attorney himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you get there, you park, and it's my understanding from the video, you park next to the ramp, the entrance and exit to the building.
Right.
Okay. At what point did you notice Margaret arrive there at the location?
Didn't. All I knew is that her one of her workers showed up. She didn't appear until the sheriff's office showed up, and she jumped out of the car going, I'm here. That's the first time I knew she was there. She was hiding in a vehicle.
Okay. Now, initially, when she drove past, the vehicle parked directly behind you. LIEnette looked over directly at the vehicle according to a recording that Margaret provided. Did she say that she saw her inside the vehicle?
No. I don't even remember her saying that she seen the vehicle. I didn't. All I seen was cars that were pulling on in, and that's it.
Okay. Once she stepped out of the vehicle and you were able to identify the vehicle she was in, do you remember that vehicle pulling up?
Do I remember?
When the vehicle
No, I
first got
don't
here?
know when you're talking about.
Okay. So you're not sure when the vehicle first got there?
Her vehicle?
Yes.
No vehicle showed up until about 10 minutes prior to the meeting.
Okay.
And we were there 2.5 hours prior to the meeting.
Okay, and you said her supporters got out of the vehicle. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, the one just stood across from my car door on a picnic table just filming me.
Okay.
So,
All right. And how do you know that those were her supporters?
it's a worker.
A worker?
Because I see her at the post office.
Okay. All right. And the first time you noticed Margaret was when again?
When she jumped out of the car when the sheriff got there.
Okay.
Because if I would have known she was in the car, I would have backed up and left. And when she jumped out, there was no way in hell that I was going to back my car up now and take off with the police there so that they could go chasing after me. I waited for the sheriff to come to me.
Where was she sitting?
I have no clue where she was sitting.
Okay, was she in the front seat?
I have no clue.
So you didn't see her step out of the car?
I heard her
Okay.
come out of the car. And then I could see through the windshield as she darted towards the police.
Okay.
So,
All right. Anything else about that night that I didn't ask you that you think I should be aware of or should know?
there's possibly no intentions of me stalking or doing anything. I mean, I went to the state's attorney's office. I called the sheriff. I did everything so I could be appointed to the board. That's not stalking. I was just doing it.
You understand that per the Ohio injunction, if you're a location and she shows up,
I gotta leave.
you have to leave right away.
And I would have left. She didn't make herself present or anything. She just hid, I guess, in the car and did not jump out until the sheriff got there.
Okay. All right. And it's my understanding Miss LIEnette is still represented by Josh Silverman?
Correct.
Okay. And what case is that Silverman is representing her on?
That goes along with the restraining order in that.
A restraining order? Okay. All right. Well, with Silverman being her attorney of record, obviously I can talk to her all without making
Right.
contact with him. But since you did not have representation, I wanted to get your side of what occurred that night. Okay.
Right.
All right. I appreciate you stopping by, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Again, there's no intention of stalking or anything. I would have left. If she would have made herself present or anything, I would have been out of there. But by the time she made herself present, the police were there, and there was no way in hell I was going to back my car up and go from them.
What time was that meeting?
Meeting started at 7.
7. Okay. And you said vehicles didn't start showing up until 10 minutes to.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. Sounds good, sir. I appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's do some debunking. It makes me feel so good. Very first thing you hear in that audio is Crook saying, just wait a minute, I need to film for my protection. Now, isn't that interesting that Deputy Duncan didn't want Deanna to film for her own safety, protection, and accountability? That somehow she, as a legal citizen, isn't allowed to. But Crook can when he's under investigation. And frankly, this is an interrogation in regards to this incident. And if you listened really well, you heard LIEnette coaching him beforehand. Ha! Okay. So now we also hear Crook talking about Russell Meeks called me that morning and told me that this was going to happen during the meeting. So let's back up a little bit. Now we have clear-cut evidence by testimony and witness of John Crook that Russ the Sus broke all sunshine laws, had illegal conversations about a meeting when he wasn't at a meeting, contacting LIEnette and Crook saying, be at the meeting. What was his goal? Well, there's no doubt whatsoever. His goal was to try to put Crook in and was going to fire Belinda, which he legally couldn't have, and place LIEnette in, except LIEnette can't work. She's disabled. Crook can't work. He's disabled. They have a disabled child. Does any of this make sense to anybody? All we can say is this is illegal conversations from Russ the Sus. He's currently under a very intense and very deep investigation with the Ethics Committee out of Tallahassee, Florida, and this is being added to it as well. Okay, so Crook goes on to say, well, we didn't see any cars show up till about 10 minutes till. All right, so we already know based on previous videos and audio that LIEnette and Crook state that they were there at 4:45. There's even LIEnette stating she was there at 4:30. The meeting starts at 7. George was there at 6:15. George was the only vehicle there at 6:15. Crook is outside of the vehicle watching, staring at George Park on George's own recording of Crook and LIEnette as she's recording for her own safety, protection, and accountability. But Crook didn't see him. Now, I've also shown video where LIEnette can identify George's vehicle from way far away, well over 1,000 feet away, but she can't identify it from 20 feet away. Isn't this interesting? George was there 45 minutes before the initial meeting started. 45 minutes. She was the second individual. No other cars but her. And she did get out of the car multiple times, waiting for the Levy County Sheriff to actually show up. Except Crook says he doesn't recognize her car and doesn't recognize her. He only recognizes the worker. And how does he recognize the worker? Because he sees her at the post office. He sees all kinds of people at the post office. Do they all work for me somehow? That's interesting, isn't it? Because he sees somebody at the post office, therefore they automatically work for me. Oh, by the way, Deanna was there at 6:15 as well. So he sees Deanna at 6:15. He's filmed looking and watching at 6:15, 45 minutes beforehand, but he knows that she's a worker because he sees her at the post office. Keep in mind, Crook has actually intimidated her as well. He has parked next to her intentionally on purpose. He has side-checked her mirror on purpose. I've shown this video in the past, and I'm not going to do it again. All right. And then we also have their defense. Their defense with Deputy Duncan and Deputy Ricks is they have a legal right to be here. We have official business. We have a legal right. Nobody who's in the wrong comes out the gate trying to defend themselves that they have a legal right to be there. They're doing official business. Why are they saying this? Obviously, they're saying it because they know George is there and they legally have to leave, but they did not. But they were trying to hold on to the aspect, we have a legal right to be here. We have official business. They have no legal right to be anywhere where George and I show up within 500 feet. End of story. No exceptions. No ifs, ands, or buts. Stop asking. They cannot legally be there. As you just heard, you heard Lieutenant Norine say it. And here's the other part. Crook wants to say she's hiding in the car. How did he know she was hiding in the car? Now, here's the double-edged sword with Levy County and all the corruption. If George gets out of the car, they're going to claim George didn't show fear and therefore the statutes weren't broken and therefore they won't arrest. Now, they're going to say George was in the car, which keep in mind, George did get out of the car multiple times. She actually filmed them while she was outside of the car and then got back in the car and waited for Levy County Sheriff. If she doesn't get out of the car, then they're going to play this whole game. Well, they can't know that you were actually there. They obviously know she's there. They stare straight at her. They're looking at her. LIEnette is recording her. And yes, we are subpoenaing those videos. But do you think they exist anymore? Because Levy County Sheriff actually took LIEnette's phone. When they arrested Crook, they took her phone as well as evidence. Keep in mind, this is the same LIEnette who in previous police reports told them that she's been deleting everything from her phone because Jeremy Hales is trying to get her arrested. In other words, deception. She is deleting evidence against her. So we've got plenty more here anyway. Let's take a peek at it. Right here, we got a violation of the protection order yet again, and it's Crook. And it's against George this time, I believe. Yeah. Yep, another one against Crook. This is on February 20th. February 20th. And here says, I believe, if I am correct, it says that this is a civil event. LIEnette Preston calls. Okay, I guess that one is for something else. This one's because this one's March 4th here. And it says she wants a call by a sheriff deputy in reference to Jeremy Hales Preston states that she was told by John, okay, we're reading right here. Preston states that she was told by John that after Deputy Bailey left on an earlier animal call, that George drove by her house on North Otter Creek Avenue filming her residence. Preston reiterated she did not see George, but John did. I asked if she had video, and she stated she did not know at the time of the call. I advised I would document her call. Okay, so George did drive by, and she continues to drive by. From what she's told me, she films every single time for her safety, protection, and accountability. And Crook starts yelling at her, which he was found guilty for in the state of Ohio. What did Florida do? What did the Levy County Sheriff do? Nothing at all yet again. All right, here's another one. Here's one for harassing phone calls. Okay, who made this call? Oh my goodness, this next one's going to make you laugh when we look at who made it. It says LIEnette, a.k.a. LIEshell. Think I'm joking? There it is. At least I think you can see it. All right, so, oh my goodness, primary name right down there. LIEnette, LIEshell, LIEC, Alexis. Okay. It goes on to say this. Private number is calling her day and night and wants to know how she can find out who it is calling her. And the complainant wants contact via phone through a deputy immediately. Whoever's calling her is playing Jeremy Hale's videos on the phone. I'm not joking. Now, do I believe her? No, because our fans would never do this. Now, I could see her haters doing this to try and entrap me, to try and get me in trouble. And so there are those who love us, there are those who love to hate us. And I could see her putting them up to doing this, but no true fan is ever going to do something along this line. We've said from the very beginning, do not contact anybody. This is our life news story. It's horrific. It's horrendous. It's changed our lives in a negative way forever. Nothing will ever be the same after this. But that doesn't mean people insert themselves. And there are those fools that continue to insert themselves, that want that little glimpse of fame. It ain't worth the cost. Trust me. All right, so we got an original narrative right here. Let's see what the narrative says. On March 3rd, 2024, at approximately 1740 hours, I received a complaint by phone in reference to harassing phone calls. I spoke with LIEnette, LIEshell, LIEC, Alexis, Preston. Sex? None. No, I'm sorry, it says female. Female. Race? White. Whoa! Hold up, wait a minute. Sheriff Deputy got that one wrong too, because LIEnette says she's black. She's white. She's completely and totally white. And date of birth? 8/5/62. Preston stated that she has received several phone calls today from a private number. Preston stated that the subject calling her plays videos of Jeremy Hales. Preston stated she wanted to know if there's a way to trace the number to see who is placing the calls. I provided Preston with a case number and advised her to contact her provider to see if there's any way they can help her with the issue. At this time, the case is closed with this report and complaint. Referred to her service provider to block unwanted calls. You know what normal people do when they get private number calls and calls that they don't understand who is actually calling? They don't answer. Now, this is one of the reasons why we have civil protection orders against them. Crook and LIEnette posted our number, our address, all over the internet. And for a good, probably solid month, constantly through the day, my phone rang with harassing calls. Guess how many of those I answered? That's right, 0. Not a single one. Because that's what mature individuals do. They actually screen their calls. That's what normal people do. They don't answer calls. They don't know who's calling. Is this woman so starved for attention that she feels like she has to actually answer every call? But the other aspect of it is, who knows if she's even telling the truth? I mean, there is nothing you can determine as truth with her. Do you understand that's part of the aspect of court as well? That a judge is looking at credibility of a petitioner or a witness or the defendant, and she's found herself to be non-credible. Okay? Just like there are some on the Levy County Sheriff Department that have been non-credible. Deputy Duncan would be one. And we could go further, right? Those who are asking for a warrant for my arrest that don't understand the simple concept of the First Amendment. It's just mind-blowing. The level of ignorance. It truly is. It truly is. Oh, I always joke with George that if one of these deputies ever pull me over and they ask me, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm going to say, yeah, because you got C's, D's, and F's in school. The level of complete ignorance. And for those who didn't get that joke, I'm sorry, but it's pretty funny. All right, complainant right here is LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis again. And what do we have? Now now we're getting racist. It's an Indian man that's calling. Thank you very much. All right, well, Lieutenant Narayan is Indian. If you didn't hear that in his accent, Lieutenant Narayan is Indian. And now LIEnette is calling. Oh, wait, hold a second. It's Lyshell. I apologize. Lyshell is calling about an Indian man. And this is on March 10th. Indian man keeps calling her every day from a private number. And what do you think she's doing? Answering it. Keeps calling her and telling her that she's going to jail. Hales posted a video about her hiring a hit on an Indian man. Thinks it might be him. Calls from a restricted... Whoa. Hales posted a video about the hit? By the way, the other reason why Levy County Sheriff wanted her phone is because they were subpoenaing everything. All of her contacts, all of her calls in regards to this hit that they asked us to not reference anymore until the investigation is completely and totally over. And so we're not going to go any deeper because people keep asking, but we're not going to reveal any information until then. So she says, it thinks it might be him. Calls from a restricted number, starting to scare her and freak her out. She continues to answer the phone, asked for a blocked restricted number by multiple people she knows calls her like that, and told her it was a burner phone so she can't get them, and wants to know who the man is. And then at this point, after this entire this cluster at Town Hall where Duncan is so incriminating himself and placing so much liability on the Levy County Sheriff Department, that Lieutenant Anderson and Narayan now state that there will be no street deputies that go out for any of these incidents anymore. It will only be supervisors, except for Tom Martin, because conflict of interest with Amanda Martin and the rat. And so the new remark is that needs to be a sergeant, corporal, or an admin. You can see on the bottom line that actually goes out. Anybody who comes out now. This is because of Duncan. Because they effed it up so bad. They screwed it up so bad. No street deputies are coming any longer. Okay, so let's look at this. Corporal Gregory goes out. Corporal Gregory gives some pretty good advice here. On the above date and time, I made contact with LIEnette Preston by cell phone. LIEnette do you think LIEnette answered? By the way, they call private. Yep, she answered. You know she did. They call private. And of course, LIEnette's going to keep on calling and then try and state that it's me. Or keep answering and try and say that it's me. LIEnette advised for a month now that the male subject calls her from a blocked number. LIEnette stated because of her rescue business, she answers all the calls she receives. Oh, I have multiple businesses. Guess how many calls I answer? None if I don't have them programmed in the phone. If they need something, they'll leave a message. I'll listen to the message. I determine whether I'm actually going to answer or not. Guess how many I answer? Very, very, very few. Okay, but LIEnette, she owns a rescue. Oh, remember that rescue where she can't afford to feed the animals? She can't afford, doesn't even know where their next meal is coming. But she's going to add a monkey. Because she thinks a $50 monkey, which normally would cost anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, is such a great deal. And then she's mad she got scammed. And she scammed everybody for that $50. But let's keep going. Answer. So she has to answer all the calls she receives. LIEnette continued to say this male, who's that Indian accent, provokes her by saying things like, "You're going to jail. Time is almost up. Tick tock. And Jeremy's going to win." LIEnette advised that this male is doing this because of the videos Jeremy Hales post about her. Oh, whoa, hold a second. LIEnette has also publicly claimed that she's not responsible for what anybody else does to me or anyone else, specifically John Crook. Oh, wait, but now she wants Judge Grudge to hold me accountable for this. What if this Indian man is actually calling because he's seen all the newspaper articles written about her? Maybe he's seen all the news videos on her as well. Remember when she hid the firearm with Crook, lied to the sheriff, and then told them the truth, and then they confiscated her phone for evidence, and then, yeah, it keeps going, she begs Channel 20 to do a news story on her. I advise LIEnette I'm not going to be able to determine who's calling her. Stop answering calls from blocked numbers. That's what the corporal told her. Pretty good advice if you ask me. LIEnette advised she would finally stop. Do you think she did? Absolutely not. All right, our next one here. We've got harassment, stalking, information, threats. Okay. We've got all this here. It's LIEnette again on 313. Oh, yes. 313. LIEnette, Preston, LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey. The list goes on and on. Oh boy, here we go. Sheriff Newton. I don't know this guy. Probably best that I don't, because frankly, I rather not know these guys. I don't mind knowing them in a personal capacity outside of their work, but I don't need to know them in their professional capacity, because we don't need people stalking us. We don't want to have to call them. All right, on 3/13/2024, I responded to the address North Otter Creek Avenue in reference to a threatening text messages that were received upon the complainant via Facebook Messenger application. All right, so text message via Facebook Messenger. Okay, so first of all, this is really easy to fix, because if she's complaining about messages coming through Facebook Messenger, you can set it up to where messages don't come through unless you're friends with them. Duh! Or wait, I should go, period. Ugh. Fraudulent. Okay. Upon my arrival, I made contact with LIEnette Preston, which, by the way, that's how I have things set up. So there are fans that try and message all the time, and they can't get to me. That's part of security. That's a layer of security. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to buy that 1.66 acres across the street from me as a layer of security. But I promise everything that touches my property in the future, I will immediately purchase. This will never happen again. Upon my arrival, I made contact with LIEnette Preston, who stated she received text messages from a Barry, who claimed to be located in the Netherlands. LIEnette stated that she believes Barry is a follower of Jeremy Hale's YouTube channel, as she encountered this matter of contact from his followers on several occasions prior to this incident. Upon my observation of the hostile text messages which LIEnette received from Barry, I observed the following message, which, by the way, why would you keep letting this individual message you? Block them up. That's what normal people do. You and I would do that. We would just block them. First harassment, they get blocked. Wait. LIEnette supporters are going to say, you're blocking free speech. You have free speech. Go put it wherever you want. I have freedom not to listen to it. I have freedom not to read it. I have freedom to block. That's what normal people do. Oh, by the way, you know what YouTube, a multi-billion-dollar business, encourages creators to do? First onset of negativity, they tell you the best thing to do is block. By the way, they're all about free speech as well. Nobody has to listen to your free speech. We have freedom to block it from our eyes and our ears. So the message says this: God is with her, but she is in the hands of a dirty, evil lunatic. Well, Lacey, mark my words. Wow. God's listening. Mark my words, you biatch. Not for very much longer. The only psalm for you is Psalm 666. Shame on you. And after finding about your filthy, evil past, I can say without any doubt, I truly, very deeply hate you. You're very lucky I'm not in the U.S. at the moment because you would not be breathing right now. This isn't appropriate. Now, I don't think that one of my fans actually did this, or one of my viewers. I do know that LIEnette has multiple fake accounts for stalking myself, for stalking George, for stalking her daughters, her family that want nothing to do with her, that have blocked her out of her life. And she can come up with any of this. There's absolutely no proof this individual actually exists, this Barry in the Netherlands. Oh, by the way, living in the Netherlands and your name is Barry. Sorry, that is not a Newfoundland name at all. This message was followed by a deleted message from LIEnette and another message. Oh my goodness, here's LIEnette dirty deleting again. Oh my goodness. Followed by a message, deleted message by LIEnette. Oh, LIEnette's going to show Levy County Sheriff, but before she does, she's going to delete what she sent. Dirty deleting yet again. And then another message from Barry, which read the following. Well, you can delete my message, but you did read it, and so that's okay. The messenger chat displayed that Barry was located in, I have no idea how to pronounce this, which is another reason why I don't believe that Barry exists in the Netherlands. This small municipality, which is located in the western Netherlands, is approximately 4,548 miles away from North Otter Creek Avenue, where LIEnette resides. Due to the great distance, both the opportunity and the ability factors of an immediate and credible threat are absent. Barry did not write or otherwise indicate that he intended to leave the Netherlands to harm LIEnette. He did, however, state that he strongly dislikes her, and though he did not directly state that he intended to directly or indirectly harm her, therefore the intent factor of an immediate credible threat does not exist either. Without any of the required factors for a credible threat present in Barry's communication with LIEnette, I've determined that Barry's vague statements were made in an attempt to disrupt LIEnette's... Holy cow. There's branches falling everywhere. I don't know if you guys heard that one or not. There's been a lot of storms. He did, however, state that he strongly... Okay, therefore the intent factor for an immediate credible threat does not exist either. Without any of the required factors in Barry's communication, I've determined Barry's vague statements were made in an attempt to disrupt LIEnette's personal sense of security. LIEnette also stated that Jeremy Hales has made statements in one of his YouTube videos in which he claimed that he would have someone forcibly take her to Ohio court against her will if she chose not to participate in the legal action that he is trying to take against her within the state. Yeah, bounty hunters. LIEnette advised that she continues to avoid contact with Jeremy, except she continues to stalk and follow us everywhere, as you can see. Following these statements from LIEnette, she did not present me with any additional information regarding this incident. LIEnette presented me with 3 printed screenshots of a messenger conversation between herself and Barry. These prints have been logged and submitted as evidence department. The pictures I captured on LIEnette's phone screen containing the messenger conversations between herself and Barry have been attached to this report. Case status unfounded. This report is informal and documentation purposes only. Here is a picture of LIEnette with Barry. Anybody know anybody in the Netherlands whose name is actually Barry? Yeah, I didn't think so. I did not think so. Whoa, hold a second. Isn't this the exact same font that LIEnette claimed she never ever uses, where she called George a sand N-word? Yeah, it is. It's the exact same font. And the font isn't based on Barry's font. It's based on the font LIEnette places on her phone as how she sees it. And here we just debunked again. And I didn't even know we were going to debunk that one. Oh my goodness. Look at that. We just debunked her again. Wow. Well, she does use that font, doesn't she? Where she calls George a sand N-word. But then claims that she's black. And her whole family is black. I'm colorblind. I don't see it. All I see is white and black. No, I actually see more than that. I'm red-green colorblind. But really, I don't care about the person's skin color or gender or age or anything. I care about a person's heart. LIEnette Preston again, 3/13/2024. I think this is all about that as well, about that same message. Got a message on Messenger, feels like it's a threat. Came with Barry's, yeah, subject. He's in the Netherlands, God is with her, okay. Basically, what Newton said is, I spoke to LIEnette Preston. She advised that an unknown individual from the Netherlands contacted her via text, threatened her. The text did not present a credible threat, however, due to the circumstances. I advised LIEnette I would document the incident. LIEnette further advised Jeremy Hales, stated in one of his videos he intends to hire somebody to kidnap her. Huh, interesting. This is what it says. Right there. You see it above my finger? Now, have I ever stated that in a video for all of those who have been watching? No, I've stated that if the judge puts out a warrant for their arrest and they will not, if Levy County Sheriff will not do their job, if Florida, the state of Florida will not take them to Ohio, that I will hire a bounty hunter to do it. You know, the legal way, because that's how I do things, the legal way. And isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how everybody wants to come at me? They want to start stuff with me. They want to start. And then when I actually push back with actual facts, reality, truth, then they're a victim and I'm a bully. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Mind-blowing. So they're not a bully with all the garbage that they say, the lies that they say? Interesting. All right. LIEnette Preston, 316. A few days later, right here, we got LIEnette yet again. And this time received a weird message. We're going to bring that zoom. Jeremy Hales is trying to set her up. What is this? A dating show now? It literally says Jeremy Hales is trying to set her up. I have no idea what this means. They shudderingly called her back concerning over a random message she's receiving. Advised her contact her phone company and get records on file. This is something that came up in the future. Shutterfly said, advised Lieutenant Anderson is working on building a case. So this is Shutterfly. This is a deputy stating that Anderson's trying to build a case against me. When Anderson has been adamant with George and I that he's trying to build a case against her and Crook and put them both in jail. So the question is, who do you trust? In the Levy County Sheriff Department, who do you trust? Right now, nobody. Nobody at all. Where I thought Anderson was one of the good ones, I'm definitely having second thoughts, and until he gives me any evidence otherwise. So Shutterfly says Anderson is working on building a case. I provided an incident number and advised her to call during the day and speak with Lieutenant Anderson, directly determine what actions should be regarding this investigation. You think if Anderson was actually on the right side of the law, she would have already been arrested. How many times now? How many times has Ohio found them guilty? And they've done nothing. Citizens assist, contact person, Jeremy, complainant, LIEnette. Again, here we go with another one. This one is on 3/22, March 22nd. All right, let's see what kind of insanity we have this time. On 3/24/2024, at approximately 20:31 hours, I received a complaint by phone in reference to personal information being shown in an online video. I spoke with LIEnette Michelle Lacey, A. Preston, Alexis. Sex, none. I mean with a ton. On a poll. It says female. Race, white. Date of birth, 8/5/62. Preston states she was told by a friend. Heard it from a friend who heard it from another. That you've been pulling around. I'm paralyzed to my pole. That her driver's license was posted on a YouTube video and it was not redacted. Preston stated the name Jeremy Brian Hale, sex a lot. That's what it says. Male, race, white. Here's the other crazy thing about haters out there trying to say that I'm in an immoral relationship with George. First of all, George and I aren't even in the same place. And when we are in the same place, how would they have any idea about my intimate time with anyone? Oh, that's right. They don't. That's ridiculous for them to even claim that they have any type of insight or that I'm in some kind of immoral, improper relationship with George. They have no idea what goes on behind closed doors when the camera is off. All right, race male, white, date of birth 3/30/77, has disseminated the information to another sites that have been shown her driver's license. All right, let's just pause right there. Now, I know where this is going. This is going to go in the aspect of LawTube. LawTube got this information on their own. This is all public information. LIEnette's now claiming that I'm giving out her public information everywhere. Okay? Both front and back. I asked Preston how she knew it was Hales that had given her information out. Preston stated it was in the legal papers. Did you hear that? It was in the legal papers. Public information. It was in the legal papers she had to send to Hales' lawyer a couple days ago. Preston stated that she was advised the information was on a site called the DUI Guy, MG Law, according to her friend, and also Megan Fox. I searched both sites. I located what she was informed about on the DUI Guy site. I observed copies of the legal documents that were part of the court recordings being shown on video. On the last page, the document shows in the video was Preston's signature, a notary stamp, a handwritten driver's license number showing the notary identified Preston. No copies. Look at the bottom there. No copies of LIEnette Preston's driver's license had been posted. Yet again, psychotic LIEnette. I informed Preston that no state laws have been broken and she would have to contact YouTube to speak with them to see if any of the policies were violated. No further information at this time. Now here's the crazy part. LIEnette and her groupies. You've got Shart, you've got Deuce, Stupid Dave, you've got Silver Scam, even though he's pulled away like crazy. He wants nothing to do with this insanity anymore. And a handful of others, they want to claim that nothing can be posted about her. Wait, here we go. Here it is again. YouTuber showing unredacted information. And here is where it says Megan Fox, also a YouTuber. Okay, so we got Megan Fox in there as well. Larry Foreman on the DUI Guy. Megan Fox. And LIEnette says Jeremy gave him all the information. And her friends called her just to let her know. Okay. Do you truly believe that an individual who runs to the newspaper to have articles written about her isn't a public figure? Who goes to the news station, public news station, Channel 20 in Gainesville, in this area of Florida and other areas. I mean, this woman runs for people to do news stories on her. And now the planet is actually doing news stories on her. That's what we call a public figure. Hey, let's take a look at a news story. The son in Englewood. Struggling mom adopts sickly child. Now, how would you like to be growing up and later find out that your supposed makeshift mom called you a sickly child? Yeah, not exactly good for the old psyche, huh? And if you're a struggling mom, what business do you have in adopting any sickly child? Now, this sure does seem like a public figure to me because LIEnette presented not one picture. No, not just this one picture. And by the way, I'm the one that has edited the actual face of the child, not LIEnette, and the name of the child. Not one picture. No, LIEnette has provided, not just two pictures. Remember those carefree days outside of jail, Crook? Oh, yes. No, not just two pictures to the news. Oh, yes, here we go. Struggling mom adopts sickly child. Look at this. How would you like to find that as you're growing up? Googling your name and saying that you're a sickly child. Man, not okay. Not okay by any stretch of the imagination. This is just a sample of what LIEnette has done to put herself in the press as a public figure. Now, I can read the entire article to you. This story is part of Thanksgiving week series, recognizes those people who do something special. Northport, LIEnette. Oh, wait, hold a second. I thought her name was Lyshell. No, it's definitely LIEnette. So in Northport, she must have been going by LIEnette. Don't believe those lies from Lyshell. So LIEnette Preston learned of the adoption of this child was final when the two were sitting in a minivan outside of a pharmacy. Well, I got a feeling we know what rugs they were trying to get. Waiting for the child's prescription to be filled. Sure they were. On the day of the recent adoption, Preston and her ex-husband. This is the other part. Who puts this? Who puts that in a news story? Preston and her ex-husband. You know what they should have done is put ex-husband number 7. That's what they should have done. So people could be even more concerned now that she's a struggling mom, living with her ex-husband, number 7, can't feed anybody. With her ex-husband, John Crook, took the baby to the doctor's appointment while waiting on the call from the judge. The doctor gave them a prescription for the child as they were picking up, and the judge called. "I was so excited," Preston said. "I showed the judge the baby in her car seat. It was such a good feeling." Okay. By the way, all these documents are being contested. She lied on them. Allegedly, but legally it will be found that she lied on them. She lied about not having injunctions on her. She lied about so many things. And the lawyer that helped her is a veterinarian, an animal lawyer. Okay, but let's just keep going on. "I was so excited," Preston said. "I showed the judge the baby in her car seat. It was such a good feeling. It took so long. It was so expensive to hire an attorney, and there were so many obstacles dealing with the biological mother who didn't believe the paperwork was necessary. But finally, the child was my legal daughter." 5 months later, Preston begged the baby's biological mother to sign the paperwork. Preston's joy on adoption day was short-lived on the way back home. After stopping at the intersection River Road and Venice Avenue, the couple's 2014 Nissan Quest broke down. Oh, leave it to LIEnette to turn this into a GoFundMe. Keep in mind, hundreds upon hundreds of GoFundMes. Now, did people give to him? Nope. A few bucks here and there. Hundreds. Begging, pleading, instead of getting a job like a normal person. Oh, wait, that's right. She said she was fit for a job to be the clerk for town hall, but she's disabled. She can't get a job. Which is it? Preston's joy of adoption day was short-lived because of the vehicle. The transmission failed. The van fell several feet. The van traveled several feet more and then died. Preston and the baby waited on the side of the road from a ride from a friend. Oh, maybe that's what she was doing on Route 19. As Crook had the van towed, Preston sold more items and launched a PayPal donation account to help raise 50. Here we go again. Promoting. And by the way, it's LIEnette who has contacted the papers. She's done this in Otter Creek as well with the Chiefland Citizen. She's done this everywhere. Okay, she's a public figure. She's thrusted herself into public figuredom because she wants promotion and your money. Basically, she wants your money. And I'm doing this. I'm neglecting my medical needs because I have to take care of this child to the doctor's appointment, she said. I'm doing this on my own. Wait, hold a second. Didn't we just see it was her and her ex-husband and now she's doing it on her own? Oh, yeah, that's right. She's a single mom raising not only all of her kids, but all of her grandkids as well. I'm doing this on my own. It's humbling and it's embarrassing to ask for help. If it's so embarrassing, why has she posted hundreds, if not over 1,000 GoFundMes? Obviously, she's not that embarrassed. I have enough for a license and insurance. Despite the daily challenges of the lack of transportation, Preston asked friends for rides to store, for baby food, for diapers. No kidding, she asked everybody for everything instead of working for it. During a recent trip to Walmart, Preston used a gift certificate given to her at the adoption party. And I don't know if she'll remember this all. Oh, I guarantee you she's going to remember this because it's all over the internet. Because LIEnette thrusted it, pushed it, begged for it to be all over the internet. But I want her first birthday to be special, Preston said. It's very expensive. But this child is my blessing from God. This is a woman that has biological children who don't want anything to do with her because she has destroyed them. Does she call them a blessing from God? What do you think this child is going to call her? A blessing? No. She's going to call her the monster. The momster. Just like her other kids do. It's my blessing from God. I let her point to which doll she wanted. Her room's decorated in a colorful troll movie theme. Oh, what's the shed decorated in? Anybody want to guess? Fecal matter out of buckets. And she had lots of trolls. It keeps going on. It's begging for money. It's begging for money. It's begging and begging and begging and begging and begging and begging. And then shortly after this article, she stalked me to Otter Creek to beg for, I'm showing you all these pages, to beg for more money. And you think she would learn a lesson and stop, but no, she doesn't. To the point of, this is what's so crazy. She wanted all the cameras pointed on her. She wanted all the news and all the attention. And then on March 29th, 2023, LIEnette calls Levy County Sheriff and says, yeah, wait for it, I want to know if Jeremy Hales can put camera up directly from her property facing her. Now she's calling the Levy County Sheriff because she wants to complain that I have cameras on my property. And they tell her this. Roberts made contact with her and advised that Jeremy can place cameras wherever he wants as long as it's on his property. And caller made contact back, and Roberts says the complainant, LIEnette, wanted to make sure she wasn't going to violate the injunction for walking her grandchild down the road past Jeremy's driveway. I advised, being Roberts, LIEnette, if Jeremy was there, don't go in that direction. Isn't this interesting that she told Judge Grudge she never, ever goes towards my driveway? And she's calling Levy County Sheriff asking for permission to walk past my driveway. She says, I don't ever go near them. I don't want anything to do with them. I only go one direction. Jeremy can go the other direction. And she's walking a child in the road. Not only that, she took the child right out to Route 19 and then lied to everybody about meeting a friend when it was the actual cops that stopped her and picked her up.